Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Why it ain't nobody but us, TikTok? You know how I like to get down. Appreciate you for letting us use your platform, providing us a space and a place where we can connect with positive minds, like-minded individuals that want to spread light, love, and good vibrations around the world. It's time for us to awaken and be thankful and grateful for this thing we call life, and that we are here together with each other. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We're here to see another day, y'all. I say we got a whole nother brand new day. What's up? What's happening? Peace, family. Peace and love. What's good? What's happening? Let the fam get in here, because we sure enough got people that's going to need to moderate and keep the vibration where we want it to be. But yeah, y'all, we blessed and we here to see another day. I don't know how you feel about certain words or certain connotations attached to certain words, but this is Ex-Christian Bible Study is what this is. Let me get to the point. I gotta just say it. I'm thankful to see another day. It wasn't promised to me, and I'm not in this day and living this day because of anything I did good, bad, anything I believe, accepted, or nothing. I'm in this day and I'm in this moment. I'm in this right now because of the grace and mercy and love and wisdom of the Most High God. And so I'm just thankful to exist, and I'm giving thanks and being appreciative publicly. But yeah, a new day is special, y'all. A new day is something special to see and something to be thankful for. If we got food in our belly, a roof over our head, clothes on our back, you hear me? People that love us, even if they don't love us in the way we want to be loved, but we still receive it from them. And we get this upon awakening. When we wake up, we got it. You feel me? Man, so yeah. It's a brand new one. What up with it? What up with it? So we talking about today. Get you up in here. Kitty, do you want to sit on the panel? What's up with it, family? I-10. What's up with it, family? Peace back together. Got the poet in here. What's good, family? Do you want to sit on the panel? Medusa, I see you, but how do you, hold on, y'all. Let me see something. Yeah, I know I don't know. I use this app a lot, but as far as how it's working. Okay, let me see. Nah, that ain't it either. We'll get it. We'll get to it. But we got people in the comment section that are operating as moderators and people that can comment, because I have a very provocative title on this live. But it's simple. It's not gonna take really a whole lot. I'm gonna bear witness and see if you can understand it. Also, I was just sitting meditating and looking at things before I get into this. Let me tell everybody, trigger warning to the Christians that may get on here, that may be in this live. If you're a Christian or whatever religion you may practice or attach to this book, this is Ex-Christian Bible Study. Red Pill Bible Study. I call it that because it's studying the book outside of the concepts given to it by religion. So we break down the meanings of the symbols and we study the book in order. So a lot of people that have been following me know that we've been busting down this book from the beginning and showing the wisdom and the awesomeness and the goodness and the completeness in the work of the Most High from the creation narrative. Let me state that I've experienced the powers on the level that I can. And from what I have experienced, I can say that God is good and real, and that this is a creation, and it came forth by way of the mind of God, and it ain't random, and we ain't just end up here by way of chemicals and randomness. Nothing about this is random. Us sitting right here, right now, if you measure a person by way of miles of distance travel, we've all come a very long way. And where we are right now at some point was the past. And so this would be the future for then, but we call it right now. So when we look at this thing, I got some homework for the people that's in here, because y'all know I just take off. I'm not trying to be right according to anybody's doctrine. I don't care what you call right, because I know you not the judge of right or wrong as it relates to me. What I deal with is true or false, and we investigate the book by way of its order and also by way of its nature. With this understood, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of homework, man, because we talking about the point of awareness, and from that point of awareness, we look 360 degrees around ourselves, and we see ourselves and reflections of us. And so this is reflected with that circle, 360 degrees. And it's a female, because your wife is Mrs. You, like my last name is Chappelle. My wife would be Mrs. Chappelle, but that MRS, that Mrs. is a plural form, because she represent us. Like she is the manifestation of us, because she's my reflection. So when we deal with this zero or this circle, that's why it's round, but she's pregnant. But you also have another structure that's 360 degrees, and it's what we call a square. So this is the homework assignment. When next time you go outside, if you're outside, look around in nature and see if anything that occurs naturally consists of straight lines anywhere. Then look and observe what does have straight lines and see how it got there. Because what have straight lines was put together, made, manifest by way of the work of man. But the things in nature, everything in nature got some kind of curve, manifest by way of the work of man. But the things in nature, everything in nature got some kind of curve. That's why in the creation narrative, the waters are female. The waters are spirit. The waters in the beginning are the spirit's myriad of spiritual beings. But God is described as a consuming fire, because they are opposites, fire and water. The circle and the square is showing you something. But what I'm trying to get to, hold on, because the title is The Testimony of Jesus. And I got the symbols for the religion up here, because we always talk about the deception and revealing how our people got deceived into waiting on a special someone to come save them. Especially how we got deceived into thinking a special someone is coming from the sky, from the clouds, to save us. Because we talked about the cloud, the dark cloud, and what this cloud is representative of. But the Christian take is a literal take, and they are literally waiting on a literal person to come back in the literal clouds to save. And by this understanding, we have been held captive. We have been held shackled in what's called Babylon, confusion. So it's a difference between the testimony of Jesus and the testimony about Jesus. Christians come to you with a testimony about Jesus, but that was never the case. That's not the issue. So let's prove what we're saying in the book, because I don't want to make it like we just talking out the side of our neck when it comes to the topic. So let's go to Revelation chapter 12. And I always go to Revelation because I like to do this thing in order. And people going to say, how you going to say you doing it in order and you started in Revelations? And I always say, don't blame me because you don't understand this book. But the book starts in Genesis, and this is very true. But the story starts in the kingdom, and the kingdom is revealed in the book of Revelations. How the kingdom operates, and everything that happens comes forth from the kingdom, according to the book. So I'm looking at a certain verse in a certain chapter. I've been through this chapter thoroughly if this is your first time listening or tuning into this. And we're not going to go back over the entire chapter like we have before, because I want to get to the main point of this title. And so I'm reading from verse 17 in chapter 12 of Revelation. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, because you know I'm always include mama. Yeah. So the dragon, according to the Bible, symbolically is Satan. The woman is nature, our mother, the mother of Christ, or the mother of the light of the world. She is the one that was pregnant with the crown on her head. She also represents the wisdom of the Most High God. That's what the woman represents in the book. That's why you have in Proverbs written of her as wisdom in Proverbs chapter 8 and 9, if you want to read about her in depth for yourself. So this is the woman. This is the wisdom of the Most High God that Satan is at war with. You heard that he mad at wrath, mean he's enraged at her. He can't stand up. Oh, he can't stand up. You hear me? So all of his religions, you will know his religions that he created, because all of his religions exclude her from the kingdom of the Most High God, or even the concept of God, because he's wroth with her. He can't stand her or her representation, which is nature. That's why he seeks to genetically modify everything that he creates. It's unnatural, backwards and upside down. According to the book, in the cosmology of the world, in his world, as opposed to the creation of the Most High God. Because you know, there's a difference when we're looking at the world and when we're looking at the creation of God. And we'll get to that too. So, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant. That means the rest. The rest. Because you know, you're supposed to rest in peace. You dig what I'm saying? The rest portion of life. Because it's always a period of rest. And they like to play with the words, because this is the rest of the book. If you're looking at the creation narrative being complete and finished from the beginning in Genesis chapter 2, if we look at it being finished, then this would indeed be the rest of the book, would it not? And we're talking about beginning with the Lord's creation from the point of rest. Your enemy just like to play with words. He real slick with them. But the God I have experienced is the best of poets. I say that because, you know, if you've been on the YouTube channel, I got some music in there. All praise be to the Most High God. I got some of them lyrics channeled. Woke up with them and just wrote them down from the subconscious. So yeah, when I say I've experienced the Most High, I know God as a poet. Every time I say no, I mean experience. That's what I'm saying. I've experienced. Every time I say God, I mean powers, masculine and feminine, because I've experienced the powers of the Most High God by way of father and mother. That has been my experience. That's how I got life. That's how I came to be here, by way of my father placing me inside of my mother. Catch it if you can. So yeah, that's how I've experienced the powers that I call God. Is why it's considered a kingdom, one that you must be appreciative of and in gratitude of and loyal to, and one that you can't help but represent. It is literally in our DNA. If we call God our creator, our father and mother. Dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, the natural indigenous people, original people, the OGs of the planet. See, this beast, by way of his system, has made war with the remnant of her seed. Not only has made war, is currently making war on the indigenous people of the planet. Because he not only can he not stand her, he can't stand her seed. He can't crack the code. He can't crack the code. And he can't stand it. But let me not get off topic. Catch it if you can. Y'all know how this we use the platform and we appreciate what we can say. And we make the most of what we can say. We're not gonna complain about what we can't say. It's just let's go deep right quick. The two forms of languages. What I'm saying, I'm just having to leave the vowels out so that the interpretation of what I'm saying can be open. Look at it like that. This is my grandfather's hat. My grandfather passed in July of this year. He had a lot of hats because he had stopped. I'm in my grandfather's room. This is my grandfather's book that he left. This is my grandfather's staff. This is ancient, passed down, generation to generation, down DNA. That's what's going on. This is the goodness of the Most High in eternal life experience. Now we get into the testimony of Jesus. I know demons can give you the testimony about Jesus. So let's keep going. Went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ, and have the testimony of. Do you know what that means? That don't mean people that's gonna come tell you about Jesus. That don't mean people that's gonna come tell you that they are Jesus. That mean it's gonna be people that's gonna come with the same testimony, same story. Hey man, I was dead and came back. I seen eternal life and it's real, and we eternal, and we dealing with a king, and we the children of a creator, and this thing don't never and it get better from here. And yeah, let me tell you about this eternity we come from, this before timeness that we come from. Tell you about it, cause it's really good. Like we ain't even begun to imagine what's this thing we call life. So let's go. The revelations began 12 years ago. I am back full circles. The revelations began, I was a caretaker for an old YT man that had a stroke. Was living alone. They hired me to come take care of him, get him up and get him going again. I met what I thought, because at the time I'm also that's how I got the house that I was living in. He ended up moving out, left me the house, left me living in the house. I started hustling. Walk with me right quick, y'all. I meet this dude at this gas station. At the time I'm searching, I'm getting tired of living the life that I'm living. I'm searching. Things is straight. We doing our thug thizzle. But I'm not feeling right no more. Some in me just ain't feeling right. I'm about 30 years old. I'm telling you the truth. At the time, I ain't feeling it. We coming from the club, it's late night. I'm on my way back to the house. I'm stopping to get some gas. This is my last night eating meat. I got an Angus mushroom burger from McDonald's. I got the meal. I didn't stop eating meat for health reasons. I stopped eating meat to stop the shedding of blood when I came to understand something about it. I'm gonna tell you about a little bit about the prison, because I also did 3.5 years in what's called ad seg, or solitary. I'm gonna take you down through there for a second just to talk, but by way of talking about the goodness of the Most High God and the preparation that we go through. Because everybody sitting here been through something, and you've been through a lot. That's without question. But it's to prepare your mind for the goodness, though, not for the horror, not nothing to be no. So you can come into the goodness of the Most High, and you gonna express gratitude and graciousness. We gonna talk about what the lack of grace look like too, but we talking about the testimony of Jesus, because the testimony of Jesus is this eternal kingdom we come from, and the eternal life we experience by way of what's called resurrection and ascension. We gotta understand heaven, what heaven is. What do God call heaven? I know what the religion call heaven. What in the beginning God called the firmament. The firmament. Heaven. The mind. And it developed first. And this is where eternity is spent. So we got to really look at the condition and the conditioning of the mind. Because this is heaven. This is where hell. If we understand the ment in firmament mean mind. If all you understand is sky, and the greater light is the sun and the lesser light is the moon, then it's like the story of the Tower of Babel. The language is confused. You don't know what I'm saying. You remember when we applied grace the other day? I know I'm kind of fluent. We applied grace the other day. We was on the subject and somebody felt offended. That's why I always say trigger warning, because Christians get offended. And the energy that's produced when offense is taken, we had to apply grace to it. And I agree with you. It was never an issue of agreement. The issue is we don't understand each other, but I accept that we don't. So now it's okay, I'm confused because it's nothing to fight against. There's no fight there. The only thing I'm applying is grace. Nothing else to fight. If you was looking for one, it ain't one. Because we accept that we don't understand each other. I accept that. And we agree, but we agree from the level where I'm on this level and you where you are of understanding. And we talking about the exact same thing, but from different perspectives. I accept this. I get it. So this is what we're talking about with the grace is an allowance, is a type of acceptance. Because we have to accept the fact that this life that we experience, this day that we are in, don't have nothing to do with our goodness. What we thought, what we did, what we earned is by grace. We always hear, oh yeah, we under grace, but if we understand what it means, this is the testimony of Jesus. We talking about a component of the kingdom we call grace, and we experience it every moment of every day. But let's look at this testimony a little bit more. So I come in, I'm going to get this Angus mushroom burger. My last night eating meat. Get the meal, go across the street to get some gas. It's what I think is a geek, a smoker across the street. And he at the gas pump, he say, hey man, will you give me some money? I'll pump your gas. And I'm thinking he just wants some money to get some drugs, cause I'm judging it. You feel me? And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna put my money in my gas tank, but I will give you half of this food. Halfway expecting him to say no. But he was like, all right, man, bet. So I gave him the money. He went to pay for the gas. I prayed over the food. Bless. You know how we do the traditional way. That's what I knew. That's what I did. I gave my thanks. I broke the food in half. He came back. I gave him his half. I took my half. We ate. Then he began to quote to me scriptures. He said, man, I don't know where this is coming from. And God said, and then God said, and hey, man, something gonna come to you. When it come to you, brother, don't doubt it. I dipped out on my way to the house, and it was on my mind like, man, he was quoting the scriptures, the way he was running them scriptures down, man, made me want to go look them up. So I went Googling what I remembered him saying and went looking up, and it just so happened I had been looking in the book searching like, man, what is this? And so I end up going, make a short story shorter. It took me all the way back to the beginning. One of the Bible verses that he quoted to me is, go back to the rock from which you were hewn. I went back to that and I end up searching words, researching and looking up words, because you remember my mama taught me how to read and write before I started school. So I was researching etymology and understanding things and looking into things very early. And it ended up taking me back to the beginning of the book. But this time I saw it like I had never seen it before. I understood and I overstood and I understood like I had never seen before. I mean, the creation narrative, the beginning. And I felt, you know how you on an elevator and you go up real fast, or you on a ride, better yet, you on one of them rides and it take you up real fast? I felt like that. But it make you feel like you're real heavy, like you're gonna sink through the floor when you start going up. I felt like that, like I was real heavy. And I got down and I just broke down all the way. And stuff started changing, stuff started happening. I started seeing different. I started hearing different. And it tell you that when Christ comes, it's gonna teach you all things. You're gonna see new, you're gonna hear new. It's gonna teach you. It's a teacher, it's a counselor. Cause it's preparing your mind. It's a separation. Cause it's gonna hit you like a flood. It's a separation point. And you're gonna start thinking, your mind is gonna be new. You're gonna have like a new mind, cause your eyes open. And it's not nothing new. It's us coming into the realization of what's happening around us and what this life is, and the goodness and the awesomeness of it, as we by degrees come into more light, approaching. You did what I'm saying? So It teach you in degrees. It open your eyes to it, and then it just start breaking stuff down to you, for you, in the way that you gonna understand and get. And then it's gonna be no more right or wrong, cause you gonna be humble. It's gonna humble you to the point, and you gonna accept it's not your call. You ain't gonna have a choice but to accept. All right, man, it's not for me to get in front of nobody and tell them they wrong about nothing. Not for me. And we'll get to that. A lot of people may not necessarily agree with it, but I'm just giving you the experience. So when this started happening, before this happened, to prepare my mind for this was 12 years ago. If you've been listening and following and like, yeah, man, all right, well, before the revelation came, my mind was prepared to accept it. And I still check myself in the Green Oaks Hospital when it first started happening. But by the goodness and grace of God, I was able to accept the sight, the revelation, and the understanding, and walk on it and in it, and quit let the expectations go and the validation go, and just, hey man, it is what it is. But at the time, it was a hard thing for me. I didn't have anybody on the outside teaching me nothing. And I'm trying to share this stuff as it's coming, and people asking where this coming from, and I can't tell them. I don't know how to articulate it yet. God showing you something, he ain't showed nobody else. No, it's been out here. I'm just not seeing what's been here and what we've been kept blind to. But all right, so what was done to prepare your mind? I went to prison when I was 17 years old. I'm going to repeat the number, because the revelation came when I was 30. I went to prison when I was 17 years old. I was given a 10-year sentence for aggravated jacking and aggravated assaulting. Because there it was. Gang banging and doing all the things young black teenagers do in the ghetto. Being raised by a teenage mother. 15 when she had me. 17 when she had my little sister. You know the drill. Went to stay with my auntie and uncle as a kid, getting in trouble, start going juvenile at 12, just to, you know. But what was done, I'm in prison, 10-year sentence, and I get SEG for my last 3.5 years, because I'm in there and I'm staffing inmate assaultive, and I'm gonna take your stuff if I can. I'm gonna give you some fake money if I can. Any and everything goes when it comes to taking what I want from you, extorting you, or whatever. Really don't matter. That's what I was on. So I end up with this mind frame, me and a partner of mine, brother of mine, we go and run up in this dude cell and beat him up, doing bad, take his stuff. So they send us to SEG for that. Go in SEG, so they say it's illegal to keep people. SEG is solitary. They say it's illegal to keep people in there more than like 72 hours or 2 weeks. I'm telling you, I was in there for 3.5 years in the hole. And there's people that was in there for longer than that. This is after having already been incarcerated 6.5 years. So while I'm in SEG in the hole, is like this. You're in a cell by yourself. It's a slit by like this wide, you know, about so long across the wall. As your wide, you know, about so long across the wall. As your window, but all you may be able to see is the top of another building. But you know, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. You in there, you ain't no mirrors. You can't see yourself. You can't have mirrors because people lose their mind back there and start hurting themselves. So it's also plexiglass on the outside and on the inside, like on where the little chicken wire is on the steel door to keep people from throwing feces and urine on the guards. But that don't stop the site patients from caking feces and urine around the vents and around the toilet and around the sink. And they'll put you in there and you have to clean that out yourself because you got to drink out that sink. Might even have to bathe out that sink because they probably not going to give you no shower every day because they going to be understaffed. And they not going to have nobody to take you to the shower because when you get put in seg, everywhere you go, you got to go handcuffed. We had to do a hunger strike one time. This is the preparation of the mind. This is the preparation of the mind for the revelation. So we had to do a hunger strike because when they would feed us, they used to try, we made them stop. We made them stop by doing a hunger strike and said, because they trying to break your mind. So look, when they would feed us, they make you go get down on your knees at the back of the cell, put your hands behind your back. Then they will open up what's called a bean slot and put your tray in the door. But while they would do that, they would say, here, boy, okay, come get your food. Every day, every meal, 3 times a day. I say, nah, man, no, you're not neither. No, you're not neither. I won't eat. I won't eat. Because what I'm saying, I didn't get fed because I wouldn't go to the back of the cell and get on my knees. And if you don't go to the back of the cell and get on your knees, they're not going to open the slot and give you a tray. So I just ain't going to eat because I'm not finna go back here and get on my knees. And matter of fact, don't nobody get on your knees. Nobody. Till they had to come back there and see, man, why all these trays coming back from back here? Why y'all steady sending all these uneaten trays? What's going on? Why ain't nobody back here eating none of these trays we sending back here? And then they got it together. They open the slide, you walk up to the slide and get your tray. This is the preparation of the mind for the revelation. Because revolution is the same, but let me not get. So, all right, now, while we doing this, we in here fighting. We keeping our mind strong. We developing routines, get up, read a little bit, exercise a little bit. It's getting hard. Holidays coming and you miss your family. No visits. So you got to read books. So you know what I mean? You got to stay active in the mind. So we read books, we read Bibles, Qurans, and Achins, and what's the Vedas, and man, you name it. But then my little sister passed away while I'm in the hole. So it get dark. In my mind, I'm about to crack. I'm about to break. Because I can't go to the funeral. I can't make no phone call. I'm in the hole. And the books I can't escape this place. And I need to escape this place. So I learned how to meditate. When I learn how, I'm glossing over some stuff, but we'll go deeper just for a second. When my little sister passed away, I got angry at God, my concept of God, my understanding of God at the time. I was angry at God. I wouldn't call God and understand why my little sister was taken and this, that, and the third. But then I came into the understanding that before she was my sister, she was the daughter of my father, and my God, she was his daughter. And if you call your children home, your children coming home, no matter who they was with or their relationship. If the parent called the child home, the child come home. And can't nobody question the parent about that. And this is the parent calling the child home, calling the child on for something else. But at the time though, man, I was shook. Cause I'm inside, you know, I'm inside. So I'm not understanding this dark, and I'm rebelling, cell blacked out while I'm going through this. My partner that I went to see it with, his mother passed. And when his mother passed, we were next door to each other, where we could chop it, communicate. They moved us. They separated us. And so we raised hell. Once again, we instead, you know, they'll suit up the team and come in there and beat you up. 5-man team. Cause you gotta jack the slot, refuse to let them close the slot. If they so happen to let you come out and put you in the shower, you gotta jack the shower. Don't let them have the shower back. They'll just leave you in there. It's kick the doors. I mean, till you trying, like, I mean, everybody, not just everybody. Cause my sister just passed and his mama just passed, and we back here in this hole. And if you can't do the time, don't do the crime, and we losing it. This is the preparation of the mind to accept the revelations. What you gonna have to walk through and still be able to call God good at the end of it. So we raised so much hell back there in that hole. Once again, here come the administration. I bear witness to the truth. Hey man, what do we have to do to make y'all stop? Move us back next door to each other. Is what you do. That's what they did. So we in where we were, we chisel holes in the wall in the back of the cell so we could chop it up and cry. Cause it's plexiglass on both sides of the door. It's hard to be heard. So we went back there so we could chop it up and cry. And there I learned meditation. I had to let it go. Cause to experience the fullness of it, you gotta let a lot of stuff go. You can't take nothing with you. And by doing that, I was able to receive the understanding. Hey, that's my daughter. She good. I call her on, and I'm teaching you something about life and appreciation and gratitude. That learn to appreciate what I gave you, my daughter, as a sister. And not a day was promised to you. You didn't get my daughter as your sister because you were so good, but because I'm so good. And you didn't appreciate my daughter manifesting as your sister. Now you mad at me because I called my daughter home? You gonna question me? You should be questioning you why you didn't appreciate your sister. You had to run the streets and chase the bag and thug it out. Now you're mad at me because you took yourself away from the blessing I gave. You turned away from the blessing. Your sister didn't leave your side. Even while you was in here in the hole, she writing you and sending you pictures and you showing this my sister. And yeah, she ain't forget you. But you mad at me. No, you ain't neither. So when this is the I learned how to meditate, and then learning how to meditate, I was able to escape being confined in that place. I was able to get through it with a stronger mind. so that when the revelations came, I wouldn't run from it and it wouldn't break. And I still ran from it. And it still almost broke me down. It still took me 12 years to get to the point where we are now in this moment. After all of that. But I understand now, because when I got a glimpse, let's still with the testimony of Jesus, you don't got to accept this or not. The reason I tell you in 2019 I got shot 6 times is because I'm telling you about a death that was experienced. And boom, man, not like, listen to what I'm saying. You don't die. That's the testimony. You don't die. That's the test. You are immortal. You from the immortal kingdom and you don't die. That's what this thing is about. You go to heaven, a world of your creation in your mind. That's what life is experienced in eternity. It comes from heaven, the firmament. That's what heaven is called. It's eternal life is experienced in heaven, in the mind. So listen, I can't take my clothes off on here, and I ain't trying to. I just got to bear witness. I got to give you the testimony. After the revelations came and I was able to understand things like I never understood before, and I felt the feeling of being elevated or snatched up to the point where I felt heavy and I could see and hear different. I started to try to tell the people around me what I was coming into the understanding of. But they had never heard it before. They had never heard anything like it before. And I had never spoken like that before. So they thought I was crazy. They thought I was tripping. But it's coming in stages. And I'm not understanding everything myself. But what I do understand, I'm sharing with them. And they like, nah, man, you tripping. The people that I know and that I love. So I'm still in the streets. I ain't stopped yet. I'm still thugging with my whole heart and all my might. I'm talking about out here. We don't get into detail about that. But when I would go to jail, like the county jail for, unpaid tickets or whatever, I would tell people that I ran into or chop it up with, and they'll be like strangers, basically. They would be like, man, you should tell people about that. That's deep, man. But only strangers. So because it was only strangers, and I'm still ungrateful, I still don't understand that this ain't about me. It's about me, but it's not about me. I still don't understand what this thing is about, like who and what it's for. That's why I always say anybody who have an ear, let them hear. It ain't just for who you want it to be for or how you want them to get it. It's not up to me. So, because I feel like it was, I ain't really sure. I'm still out here thugging with my whole heart and all my might. It started in 2011, 2019, 8 years later is when the pewing happened. So here's the betrayal. Here's the betrayal part. I started a business. This ain't about me. It's about the testimony, because we talking about those that have the testimony of Jesus, not the testimony about Jesus. We talking about death, burial, and resurrection, which is the testimony of Jesus is the testimony of Osiris. It's the same story. You'll know it if you go read it for yourself. I said Osiris now. In the betrayal. Here's the betrayal part. Start a business. Everybody here that's listening, you're gonna go through, it's telling you that you cannot avoid Scorpio. You can't avoid the betrayal. It's gonna be somebody at your table. That's how it is. That's how it started in the kingdom. Wasn't the rebellion from the kingdom? In the kingdom? Ain't that the story? One somebody that was at the table in the presence of the Most High. I then, so the betrayal gonna happen from somebody at the table. So I start the business, and it's jumping, man. We doing our thug thistle and we growing. I got this message swirling around me. It's 8 years later. I been coming to more revelation and more revelation, but I ain't been using it to just put it out there. I've been using it as good game. I'm moving and shaking, but I'm just using it as good game. That's it, really. It's not. I'm not really taking it that serious. Just, something for me to know, and all right, I know a little bit something different about their religion. In the process of doing this moving company and looking at things the way I did, I'm taking in homeless people. I'm taking in women, children, because we acquiring space on the lot where we keep the trucks. So I'm letting people in, and it's jumping. I hire a dude. He looked like me. He say he has some warrants. I say, don't worry about it. I'll pay you cash. It's cool. And I'm not knowing it's some jealousy around me, cause I'm big picture looking. I'm big picture planning. I'm thinking about expanding. I'm not really looking behind me, cause I'm just assuming everybody eating, everybody at the table eating, everybody good. I'm not paying attention to the fact it don't have nothing to do with their plate. They looking at mine, looking at my plate, or what they think it is. That's what's happening around me. You got a plate in front of you, but your plate ain't enough because you looking at his plate. You think he got more on his plate than you got on your plate. So now you don't appreciate what's on your plate. Matter of fact, you on his plate. This is what's happening. So it's somebody at my table that's finna betray me. This is how I'm coming into the understanding of the testimony of Jesus and the enemy and who the enemy is at war with. Because it represents a people. We're going to get into the understanding of why we don't know who we are. Because that's at the crux of this. I'm saying we don't know who we are. We don't know what's going on. I didn't know what was going on. I woke up to a little bit of understanding of what's going on. And it's what they've been trying to keep us from, who we are. So this is our testimony. Your life is a fulfillment of prophecy. Your life, the story, the testimony. Once you realize your immortality or that you've been here before, when you start understanding this thing called life and periods of rest, and you cut the tree and the tree got different layers of skin from all the seasons it's been through, but you won't get it till you get a glimpse of it. But everything around you point to regeneration. And the book tell you it's done in heaven, which is the mind. And there's a light of the mind that don't never set. And it never set for a reason, because we talking about immortality. We talking about eternity. We talking about eternal life, our inheritance. This is our testimony. All right, so I had to do, I'm on the move, y'all. I come back. My driver, my driver is on my left side. The dude comes shooting, pew-pewing from my right, coming up to the truck. jump up in the truck. All my wounds are on the left side of my body. All of them. But I remember on it being on. All right, let me not get okay. So when I'm laid on the floor, I get to a McDonald's. I ain't gonna take you through. I'll go through. I make it out the truck. I'm hit 6 times, but I don't know it. I get to the McDonald's. I'm on the floor. The dude that's on my right side, and I know I'm not seeing this wrong. I know what I remember. It's a dude on my right and it's a dude on my left. The dude on my right is telling me he's scared, don't go to sleep, and he got his hand on my right side. But my wound is on my left in the neck. I mean, I can feel my pulse. And it's a dude on my left side, and he's saying, man, why you running this McDonald's? It's kids in here. They both squatting, and I'm telling him, man, get away from me. And the other dude that's saying he's scared, I remember telling him, man, I trust God to the grave. Get to the hospital. I remember burning. I might even say it burned. Then they put me to sleep. I woke up. I was in the hospital for 3 days. But I felt fine. I felt renewed. In my pride, I couldn't believe I made it. I hadn't realized that in a life, because I'm alive, that I did make it until I saw the funeral. I will admit that I saw the funeral on mushrooms, on medicine. But let me not take you too fast. Because you're going to experience two. It's going to happen twice. So after that death, come out the hospital, I get back to moving and shaking. The pandemic happened. So they shut down the moving in the moving company. I'm still not putting this out here. I'm putting it out here, but I'm not really putting this out here. Stuff still coming to me. I'm still coming into deeper and deeper understanding. I'm starting to admit to myself that all the things that I'm doing, including the business, is just to fit into this world, to have something to do. My heart ain't really in it. I don't really care about none of this stuff. But it's, you got to do something. But I don't care. And it just so happened the pandemic hit. Since you got to do something, we come with the barbershop. While I'm in it, I'm taking you too fast. I'm still on the testimony, y'all. The second death. After the pew-pewing, I start back hustling, y'all. Start back getting out there. Because I still don't think it's really real. I'm still not in full appreciation of this thing. I'm not in acceptance that I'm on another side of this thing called life, and that it just don't never stop. You just go in whatever condition of your mind, that's your world. Whatever the condition of your mind is, that's your world, because that's you're going to experiencing what's in your mind. So, no, I'm not getting it. I'm getting it, but I'm not really accepting it because I'm still walking in this fear of this concept of death. I have yet to accept the resurrection in eternal life and the gift that it is. So in the process, I'm out here, I done fell back into thugging, I done fell back into my body and the fruits thereof. While I'm on the high, I'm with this young lady. While we driving, I'm on my way to do some thugging. I'm telling you, y'all, the lady that hit me on this highway, I go to spinning. Hit one guardrail in the next. The car is towed. I got him showed a few pictures, the pictures of it. I was very calm and I thought it was, I felt the same way I felt in the pewing. I felt a sense of peace and acceptance. All right, this is it. Thanks for the ride. That's how I felt as I'm spinning and hitting these guardrails. I'm on a bridge. I'm looking at the tops of trees, thinking ain't no way we gonna keep from tipping over, but we do. Walk away without a scratch. Feeling good in my pride again, but this time I understood. I knew it then, like the lady that hit us got out her car naked from the waist down, took off running. I couldn't give chase. I got product in the car. I gotta get it out before the people get here. Good thing I didn't. But I'll let to say why I kept coming into that. Cause I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, and those type of spirits and that type of energy had access to me. That was no longer my lane. At one time, in one light and one understanding, it was cool for me to be there. But once I came into the understanding, it's no longer cool for me to be there. You lit up right, and you gonna be seen, and they coming. You can be touched right here because you out of pocket. This ain't where you supposed to be. So now I understand why when they say, why is it that they can do it, but I can't? Because they don't know what you know. They don't see what you see. When they do it in ignorance. When you do it because you turning away from what you know to be better. That's why. You can be touched when you do it. It's just showing you how this thing operates because it's eternal. But it's rules with it. You got to learn how to operate and manipulate energy in this realm. It's always going to manifest as you, though. It is what it is. But you just got to start learning what it is and how to move in it. So I started, after that point, I started putting out what I know. After that second death, boom, bam, I said, I get it. Now, I said I started as a caretaker for an old man. That's when the revelations began. I tell you, I'm in my grandfather's room. This is 12 years ago in my grandfather's hat. And this is my grandfather's staff. I was a caretaker for him before he passed, walked him to the door, and he left us the house. Same thing like it happened 12 years ago. Bear witness to the truth. This is the testimony. So having gone through that, I bear witness to the goodness of God, the grace of God, eternal life. Eternity is real. Some of the things that I've seen, I'm not sharing and not gonna share. But from what I've come into the understanding of, it's not for me to share. You are eternal. You don't die, but you do rest. Heaven is the mind, and that's where your world experience is going to come from. And that's why it's time to start learning how to guard and protect the mind. What the mind is and how the mind operate and what to fill the mind up with. Because that's what we experience life through. It is a God. God is great. God is experienced and witnessed by way of his wisdom, which manifests as what we call nature. These are eternal principles. It's There's no word to describe it. That's why it's called zero, and zero represent nothing. Not nothing like nothing, which we can't wrap our mind around, but nothing as far as there's nothing to describe it. There's no word to describe it. That's what that zero is, what she represent. Her husband, the indescribable. What nature represent, the indescribable. That's why nature manifests by way of regeneration over and over and over again. It's how it works. So this is the difference between each and every one of us sitting here have a testimony of life and the light and the grace and mercy of the Most High. And it don't have nothing to do with whatever religious belief or denomination that you were a part of. Your testimony probably don't have nothing to do with a church or belief. It have to do with the experience that you know the Most High brought you through. Something that came, that happened, that didn't happen be by way of your conscious mind. That's why we have a subconscious mind. It's the only way you can attempt to explain what happened to you. Some experience that we have. It was the experience that we had was to demonstrate how the kingdom operate and where the kingdom operate from, because the experience that we have happened from within us. The understanding of it come from within us, and a lot of time understanding come from us making mistakes, seeing stuff backwards, being places we shouldn't be, or whatever. But that's how we get our understanding. And then we become thankful for the understanding that we got, and the thanks that we feel, the gratitude that we feel outweighs what we were consciously aware of in the experiences we were going through on our way to understanding. That was a hell of a sentence. But we gonna go, I'll let to say we go through shit, but when we go through the shit, it's just fertilizer. It's to prepare. It's to prepare us. And everything that just because our conscious mind, the subconscious demonstrate to us like what nighttime demonstrate, that what God got going, God know what God is doing. And I say God, so it's a term that we're all familiar with. Listen to me. I might have to chop up the Tower of Babel while I'm on this level. The Tower of Babel and the differences in language is I'm gonna confuse their language so that they won't understand one another. Meaning, I might say a word and it might mean something totally different to you than what it mean to me. And I can't help whatever connotation that you attach to certain phrases, but let me make it known right here, right now. I'm using God because this is a term we all know, but the concept of God is beyond description or title or name. It is something that must be experienced so that you can even begin to understand why it can't be named or described. I don't care about capital letters, G-O-Ds, Lords, Yahoo. I don't care what letters you use to describe the phenomenon, because there are no letters that are sufficient to describe it. Let's get this understood, because we get caught up in semantics and wordplay, and we miss the meaning, or we assume, oh man, he's saying God, he must don't really know. This is Babel. This is what make it Babel. Not what's being said, but the level of understanding. Make what's being said Babel. Because I can't give you that. I can't give you understanding. I can't make you understand where I'm speaking from. You feel what I'm saying? But just know when I say this, it's much deeper than. So what's the testimony? God is my father, and wisdom is known of her children. That's the testimony. And the religious people of the day secretly worship Satan. And they hide it in what they call religion. Because all of the prophets didn't come, not one of the prophets came to tell anybody about how special they were. The prophets came to tell the people about the Most High, the kingdom of the Most High, and how special they were and where they were in it. It was always about the people. So that's why the enemy liked to play with words, and he made it about the testimony about Jesus and who was coming to you with the best testimony about Jesus. But the dragon is at war with the woman and the remnant of her seed, and have those that have the testimony of Jesus. Not about. Why is this important to understand? Because I'm telling you the truth. Even a demon can tell you about Jesus. What does that have to do with you? Having the testimony of Jesus is a whole different ball game, y'all. That means you're going to have to experience and admit to a fall, to a death, a burial, and your resurrection, that you are a witness to it. Not, I heard a report, because we can't do that. We don't do no lying. Can't talk about what we ain't experienced. Can't talk about nobody we ain't met. Testimony got to be true. And it just so happened you're going to have the same testimony as Jesus. And all the prophets that you're going to have the same story. Your story ain't going to be no different. Your life, you're going to see prophecy fulfilled. People sitting in here right now have seen prophecy fulfilled in their life. Was able to correlate prophecy with what was going on with them. Because what's going on with them is the story of Christ. That's the light of the mind. Everybody sitting here got a mind. It's the same light. But we got to return to it by degrees. But that's what we're dealing with, turning to the light. Not the light turning to us or the light returning to us. It's us by degrees turning to the light by levels of understanding. That's what's going on. Yeah, God, this is what we mean. The Most High, the kingdom is eternal, and it operates eternally, and is wonderful and awesome. And once you get a taste of it, all you can do afterwards is be grateful and be thankful. I mean, so let's look at mapping the stars. You know how we correlate things that go on here on Earth in this world with the constellations? Well, our subconscious mind, we can correlate things that happen in relation to certain thoughts we have. If we observe, when we think a certain way and we pay attention to how we're thinking, because these are the lights, and how we feel, how we vibrate, if we pay attention and correlate our thoughts and our actions, investigate and observing why and what we do from the lights of the mind, just like we correlate them from the stars. But we gotta be real with the self. If we ain't gonna, if Because we got to look at the darkness too, and what we keep in the dark and why we keep it in the dark. Got to look at that too. So, and correlate what's going on in our lives in the way we feel and vibrate and think based on our subconscious and conscious mind. And start mapping it out, start paying attention. And we'll start noticing those patterns of thinking, patterns of emotion. And it just get deeper and deeper, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all in the comment section that's answering people questions, because I ain't no telling where I done took these people with what I'm talking about. But for those that's hearing and catching it, this is the difference between the testimony of Jesus and the testimony about Jesus. And it's a subtle difference because your enemy is subtle and he worked with spells. So back to this word God and Lord and Jesus and Yahuwah and whatever else you want to name, title that you want to put on the concept. When you come into this humility of understanding, you're going to understand, and overstand that you cannot put a name on it or a title. You can't put nothing on it. We can't, and we have to accept that. You name? Are you serious? You barely understand your name. Who you trying to name? What are you trying? Do you even understand the concept of what it is you trying to name or put a title on? Do you not understand or understand that I say this a lot, but we learn by way of repetition. None of the attributes of what we call God have anything to do with spelling or words or language. None of them. The God we talking about when we use the term is powers. Powers is a very loose term. Many definition as a noun, a verb, an adjective. It's experienced in many different ways, applied many different ways. So we can't contain the concept. We just trying to describe it the best way we can. And it is described and experienced as power. That's what Elohim mean, the power. It's the best we can get to the concept. But we know this power as Father and Mother. It's how we experience life. It's how we come into being. And then we work backwards from there and understand that before we had this, we had this. And it's describing to you the construction of this, where this come from, how this operate. That's what's going on by way of death, burial, and resurrection, regeneration, or the seasons, however you want to look at life. But that's what we on today, and this is by way of expressing the goodness. Ain't God great? Ain't God wise? And it ain't got nothing to do with what we did. Do you understand what grace means? It ain't got nothing to do this experience that we're having in this moment, all that we've been through and learned and come through and coming into the understanding of is the grace by way of grace. Not because we good or special. And it's just beginning. And it's forever. And from here, it's no more up or down, because where you are is where the Most High is. Just progress and moving forward. It's in and out. It's wonderful. Your people good. Everybody that's gone, that done passed away, they good. If you truly believe life is eternal and we receive and we under grace, the dispensation of grace, then you understand that if it's grace, then that means it ain't got nothing to do with what we did or believed or said. That's why it's grace. Because if it's based upon something good we did or believed or thought, then it wouldn't be grace. It would be a transaction, and that would be a reward, a compensation for some good deed. See, some of us are so ungracious. Woo! Let me go there. Some of us are so ungrateful and we not used to grace that if somebody gave you some grace and let you come in to their mansion and refrigerator full, cabinets full, told you kick your feet up, watch whatever, do whatever, have free run of the place, you wouldn't feel comfortable. You would feel like you had to do something. You'll be in there trying to sweep, mop, and man, you don't gotta sweep and mop. I got butlers. You in my mansion. What are you doing? Enjoy yourself. But you just can't, because you ain't used to no grace. You think you got to earn this goodness right here. You got to sweep it up, mop it up, sit at the edge of the couch. You don't know what grace is, huh? You're looking all up under it. It might be a flaw in here. It got to be something else to this. It's a hook to it, a catch to it, or something. Here you go. You just ungrateful. You don't know. You can't appreciate nothing. And you're not going to understand it till it's shown to you. You got to have a mirror so you can see yourself, ourselves, and how we act. How we just ungrateful. We got to make it about how good we were and our good deeds. That's how we got to heaven. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's how we done made it a transaction, man. If I be good, I'm going to get my reward. You done took all the grace out of it and made it about you. Bless your heart. And what you done figured out. And we don't see it. That's what I'm laughing at. I didn't see it about me. But this is what they do. They separate us from the eternal love of the Most High and the grace. And that's why it's called a fall from grace. Because we start thinking it's about what we need to do to please God. As if God wasn't pleased with his creation from the very beginning and called it very good. But you know, our people suffer for a lack of understanding. So this is the testimony of Jesus. We done got to the point where we don't. And I'm making this not to knock the testimony about Jesus, if that's what you into, but just so you understand that the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. God saves the anointed. Let's say the name in English. Yahshua Meshach. Because that's how you say Christ or Messiah in Hebrew. It's like Meshach. Yahshua is God saves. Christ is the anointed. God saves the anointed. Or God saves the anointed one. Who is that? How many of you is it? Is one of you? Okay, how were you born? How did you develop head first in a sack of water? Did you come out smeared from head to toe in the blood and water of your mother? All right, then and we say, so you came out smeared from head to toe in what? Blood and water. And it's only one of you. And say who God saved? The anointed one. And all right then. So what's the testimony? Eternal life from the kingdom. Let's be thankful. And get out of this Satan worship and idolatry. And this fear. Let's get out of this fear. Can we stop being afraid of death? And we talking about eternal life and rest? Because you know, that's what everybody does. Everything you have a work to do. And once your work is done, there's nothing else to do with it and you stop. Until you do something else. Simple as that. What's to be afraid of? You might have been given words and spells, and we came across these letters and these words, and we put connotations on these letters and these words and attributed them to God or to our power simply based on how they are spelled. And we looking at the testimony about different people and about different characters. But having the testimony of these characters is completely different. See, I could tell you a story of David and Goliath, or I could tell you a story about the beloved overcoming adversity. I just told you mine. Because David means beloved. We overcome adversity. We got 5 senses, and one, the greater light, the light of the mind, in control of them. With it, you can overcome, because you know David was in control of the 5 stones. The beloved, the real you, is the Christ. That's the light part of you. The mind's eye. That's your you. That's who's in control of the 5 stones. 5 senses. With this setup, you can overcome any adversity in this world. Anything. That's what that story is a representation of. So how many times have you overcome adversity? Something that was bigger than you and you overcame it. Then this is a testimony that of your experience. Not of David and Goliath, but your testimony. Maybe I'm not making sense to people. Because we find comfort. I mean, somebody said, hey man, when you might be taking away people's religion and they hope and not leaving them with anything else. So that's one of the reasons why I'm coming with this. Like, man, I'm saying God is greater than we even imagine. And you have all eternity to get it right if you just have to look at it that way. If you just have to say, man, we gonna get where you got all eternity to get it right, but it's gonna be your world. That's what's going. It's set up on principles, universal principles, universal laws. That's how all the worlds operate. But it's gonna be. It's on the word Sheol. If you think I'm making this up, Sheol, the place where you go when you are unalive in Hebrew, means asked for. You're gonna get what you asked for, and you're gonna get it and experience it in your mind in heaven. So the belief, if you got this fear of eternal punishment in your mind, then your world is going to have a place set aside for that. It's going to be darkness though, the unknown, the unknowable, because you're going to start elevating and learning the eternal principles, what does manifest and what doesn't. But for the fact that you exist right here, right now, Be thankful and give gratitude. Life is eternal. Be thankful and give gratitude. Life is eternal. If you miss your loved ones, they good. They straight. You done died before, and you good. You straight. So yeah, what we experiencing now, if you can accept, you remember when Jesus told them people that John was Elijah? If you can accept it, you remember that? And they say ain't nothing new under the sun. They talk about Akashic records or DNA that some of the experience that we have and the dreams that we have come from my DNA. It's ancient. It goes back before time. And DNA is basically saying our makeup, what we are made up of. And ain't nothing new under the sun now. Energy, it just transfers how it operates on this level, but there are other worlds than these. There are other realities than these. There are other suns than this one. It's an untold number of them. So you got elevation on all levels, whether you want to go parallel or what you call up and down. So there's nothing to fear. It's a process of maturation so that we can understand how to control our world, where to give all the praise and all the praise due, how to operate. It's a thing about sacred and operating in secret, because once you come into the understanding and the understanding, it's almost like you have to keep it a secret, because the Most High may keep you hidden anyway. People not going to be able to understand what you're saying. Not that you speak in a different language, but that you're going to be speaking from a different angle. But when it's time, people going to start understanding you. It's deep. It's awesome. That's what led us to the point of the mother, and acknowledging that the mother is the manifestation, the physical manifestation of this ineffable, inexpressible concept. Just like your wife is your reflection and Mrs. You. Nature, Mother Nature is Mrs. God. I know the religion may scare you because I said that, but that's what the symbol is. It's a power. Nature is a power. The word Elohim means the powers. And there's the wisdom, in eternal divine wisdom to nature. This also speaks to the goodness and greatness of the Most High. I believe in a God. I don't believe in a religion. I believe in a divine family, which we call a kingdom, and that I am a part of a divine family or a divine kingdom by way of birth, not by way of conversion or religion or belief. So we represent our family naturally. It's not a ceremony or ritual. The ceremony and ritual that is performed was when your mama and daddy made love, and then the ceremony and ritual of your growth, gestation, and your birth process. When we plant food and reap it and prepare it and sit down and eat it, those are our rituals. And the thanks we give for it. When we sow, when we reap, when we lay down, go to sleep, and wake up, do whatever we do to maintain our domiciles in thanksgiving and gratitude. Those are our rituals. being our best true self and telling the truth and being honest and being grateful and patient. This is how we practice. Uh, this is how we represent our family. This is how you know we are who we are. How we carry ourselves, how we speak. How just you ain't got to say nothing. It's just how people are. When they come in the room. They be grateful for a moment when they get what they want, then forget it. We all do. We all do. We be great. We be grateful for a second. Soon as we get what we were looking for, because we think our concept of God is adult Santa Claus, and God really worked for us. We tell God what we want to happen, how we want it to happen, and that we expect it to happen. Thank God ahead of time. And when it don't happen, we be disappointed. If it do happen, we full speed ahead and probably won't say thank you, or if we say thank you, we won't show thank you. Because we think it came because we did something good. Or we think it came because we did something right. And until we understand, we go through what we go through so we can learn, we'll see it as suffering. But even in our worst times, deep inside, you knew you was all right. And you knew you were gonna be all right. Even though you didn't feel good, it didn't look good, you didn't see a way, you knew deep down you was all right. I'm talking about at the point of death, y'all. I'm not talking about financial struggle. I'm talking about land full of holes leaking. I knew I was all right. I didn't doubt that for a second. No more sting, no more fear of dying. No more worry about getting it right. Concentrating on applying and understanding what I know in reality from the kingdom's perspective. Because it's a separation point for a reason. Just like wife and husband, just like wife, that's how it operates. That's how we see it operate. Fire and water, light and darkness, curves and straight lines. So the homework assignment one more time. Go outside and look in nature and see if anything in nature occurs as a straight line or appears as a straight line. Anything in nature, anything that's natural. Then look again outside and you'll see what does appear in straight lines and how it got there. Then you're going to start understanding the difference between masculine and feminine principles. You're also going to start understanding the imitator and how he worked. Because both the circle and the square are 360 degrees, except they are the exact opposite of one another. The circle contains no straight lines. The square contains no curves. One appears and occurs naturally. The other is a construct. The imitator is the enemy. The imitator is the imitator. We say enemy because of the level of understanding of people. People have a religious understanding of these concepts. Light and darkness, God and the devil, death, hell. People have a scary fairy tale spookdified understanding of these concepts. when we say enemy, it is something that is in the way of your growth, something that is in the way of your maturation. So this is how. In our process to understanding, we come from thinking body first into understanding that there is more to life than what we can see, touch, taste, smell, and hear. As we go from understanding life from a body point of view into realizing that there is more to life than what we experience in and through our bodies, we begin to put more weight on that spiritual side of life as the source of life. When we come into this understanding, we understand that living body first is backwards, because the body or the ego self is not the real self. It's the false self. It's the imitation of you. It's the shadow. This body is like the shadow of you. And we know that because all life in truth is eternal. This body is temporary, but you are eternal. That's why you say my hand, my life, my body, but you are not your body. But if you live according to the body and body first and body only, or what pertains to the body, from a certain level of experience of life, it's upside down. The things that have me chained in spirit are the things that hold me back in the natural. And it's how people suffer from a lack of knowledge. It's the fear. They put a lot of fear. One, they put fear into it. Two, they don't break down the meaning of the symbols. Today, I didn't do a lot of symbology breakdown because I noticed I don't want people to come away thinking that when we take away the religious point, that we can't appreciate the goodness and greatness of God. You can appreciate it even greater when you get to see it for what it is. But I'm not knocking anybody's religion. I'm not in contention with anybody's religion, because I know I'm basically saying the same thing that they are, but from a different perspective. But having said that, our people do suffer for a lack of knowledge. This is why I say that we waiting on a savior. We are waiting for a savior. Do you hear me? Do you understand? We are the only people here. We don't know where we come from. We don't know we from here, from there. We don't know where we the only who else don't know where they come from but us. Now, on top of that, not only do we not know where we came from, we waiting on somebody to come out the sky to save us because of this religion. Because we take the literal take on these allegories. And we are subjugated, enslaved, taken advantage of. Our families are broken up because I'm this denomination, I'm that denomination. Our women are subjugated. But what we all have in common is Jesus gonna come save us. That's the greatest trick the enemy play, is to get you to wait on the light. Just wait for it, it's coming. Not understanding, man, the light ain't never left. Just us that have to turn to the light. The light that we in don't never set. It don't never leave. The example is given in the earth. We used to think that the sun moved around the earth. Some people still do. Then we came in understanding that it wasn't the sun that was going up and down, but the earth that was moving around the sun. Before this understanding, ancient days, here come the fall of grace again, in ignorance, the people used to think that they had to do something to make the sun come back. That the sun was angry. They thought the sun came back because they sacrificed and prayed and danced, and that's why the sun came. Or the rain, or the whatever. Till we started understanding grace. No, don't got nothing to do. The sun gonna come up whether you sing, dance, holler or not. It's on the whole, whether you conscious of it or not, whether you are aware of it or not, your subconscious is operating outside of your consciousness. It ain't got nothing to do with what you conscious of. That's what that's telling you. But we had to come into this understanding and understand our arrogance and our pride. It was due to pride. We keep wanting to make it about what we're doing. We swear the goodness came because we was good. Goodness come because God is good. The goodness is here because God is good. God is very good and great, awesome. That's why we get to experience goodness. And we turn to the light. It wasn't the light was sent. No, you just turned to it. It was there. All the gifts was already there. All the presents was already there. You just had to open them up. You didn't open that gift. It may have been a little bitty small gift, and you went for the big gifts first. But that little bitty gift was sitting over there all the time. It was diamonds in that thing. Just hadn't opened it yet. So that's what we looking at. That's what we talking about when we say you looking for the enemy, not you looking. You're gonna notice once you get back out and you start looking at things that the enemy is not at war with the people that have a testimony about Jesus. That's not who the enemy is worried about. Not at all. The enemy is worried about the people that have the testimony of Jesus, that's waking people up to the fact and truth of their immortality so that they can no longer fear death and remove the fear, because your enemy is ruling over you by the fear of eternal hellfire. Your confusion. Because just like you don't earn the goodness, if you can't earn the goodness in all justice, you can't earn no punishment either. What you do is experience whatever it is you put in the plate. And everything that's in the dark come to the light. Means you're gonna be made conscious and aware of it, because you're gonna experience it. So you might as well quit playing with your own mind. It's just and good and awesome and wonderful, because you get what you ask for. And not the fake, phony, false fronting. No. We talking about the subconscious. What a real, listen, all right, so let's look at the conscious and subconscious mind while we just chopping it, right? So the subconscious mind is the night sky. Conscious mind is the daytime sky. The daytime sky, you see one star, the sun. The nighttime sky, you see many stars. You also see The constellations. So you see more at night when it comes to studying the mind than you do during the day, which means it's more light and understanding in your subconscious mind, more going on in your subconscious mind than you are aware of. The reason it's going on in your subconscious mind is because your conscious mind can't handle it yet. So when the first of the prophets that were first able to read the constellations, when they wanted to pass it on to their son, to their baby boy, to their daughter, they had to teach them by symbols. They had to use symbols till they learn how to run it down for themselves. Yeah, we just chopping it. God is great. God is real. But so the imposter, the fake, phony, false self, the ego self, I don't want to say it like that. Excuse me. The ego self, the self that we see based on our bodies, make us operate as if there was no God. And they make us operate as if we don't have grace when we only operate according to it. Because we operate based on what feel good to it and what look good to it. And that's not what's always good for the mind or the spirit. So we have to learn in stages. So you go backwards. Like the sun, retrogrades through the constellations, we learn backwards. First we learn about the body, then we learn about the mind. Even though we develop mind first, then the body. Just chopping it, looking in these comment sections, I see people feeling it. Appreciate everybody that been in the comment section, holding it down, moderating. Because we want to keep the vibe good. We want to keep the energy positive. Because I'm thankful. I'm thankful for life. Thankful for the good health and good energy. Thankful for the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals. I'm thankful. And we don't want to entertain condemnation. No, it don't have to be an echo chamber. And everybody in here don't necessarily agree with everything coming out of my mouth, but they understand it. So they answering questions, because I know it's a lot of religious people that may be in the comment section that you know how the energy that they come in with that. And I'm not really I got to get away from debating that. People want to see and learn. And today it's just, man, God is good. God is great. At the worst of times, at the best of times. I don't never have nothing to worry about. I don't really never have nothing to fear. Just something new to experience. Because each moment is brand new. Each moment is brand new. This gift called life. True or false? Each moment is brand new. Come on now. You can't measure moments. You don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. You know what you think going to happen. What's most likely to happen. But we really don't know. We don't know what revelations is coming, what understanding is coming, and how that's going to change how we relate to reality. We don't know. That's the greatness and awesomeness of it. That's why we have to submit and humble ourselves and accept the fact, man, we really got to search for truth and walk and stand on truth and quit trying to tell people they wrong. Do you realize what happened in this world, this reality? Listen, y'all. Damn. People went around the world with this book. based on their beliefs about it, they came across people that was living their natural lives in accordance with their natural self, in a natural culture. And these people with this book told those people that they were wrong. And they felt like they had the right, the authority to tell these people that they were wrong for the way that they were living all around the world. You understand what's going on? And why we got to come out of this, why we have to accept how the ignorance was spread. See, the people with this book here, they said any other book that contradicted what was in this book that they should burn and not allow people to see or read or hear. This is the truth. Why you think that is? You gonna understand that we don't have any place telling people they wrong and condemning them to eternal hellfire because they don't believe what you believe. And you talking about what you believe, you ain't even talking about what you know. You ain't experienced not one of these witnesses from not one of these people. You are not a witness of not a one. But you think you can tell some other people that been living the way that they've been living that they wrong. And they got to stop now or else. And here, we're going to give y'all a book now. Make sure you learn it. We'll take everything else and thank you. In the name of Jesus. Here you mean. You don't think that was done on purpose? Quit laughing. But for real, that's what they did. It's the truth. I'm not making this up. You can study secular history. You'll see this is exactly the blueprint. And this is how we fell from grace in the world because of them and them running around telling people they was wrong for how they was living according to their book. They said that the book gave them all authority to do so because the book is the word of God. So we get to tell you and condemn you to eternal hellfire if you don't live by according to what we got wrote in this book, as if the law of God is written in books and stones. Like you need letters and words to know the powers. But according to them, you do. And if it don't come out their book, it didn't come from God. Let them tell it. But what if it came from the kingdom? Kingdom is within me. You're telling me if it came from within me, if it came from the kingdom, and it's confirmed in reality, but it don't match up to your take on the information in this book, I'm going to burn for all eternity? That's what you're telling me? By the arrogant of you. Glad you don't get to be the judge. Oh, I'm glad it ain't up to you. Man, I'm so glad right or wrong ain't left up to you. Because then you might change what's right and say what was right yesterday ain't right no more. Then that, see what I'm saying? We ain't going to play with y'all in y'all games. So now we limited in our understanding and our understanding in the application of the power we've been given because we waiting on somebody else to come exercise the power. Moses told you though in the story is you. Who gonna save us? You or I am? Hell, you want to play it, but that's who your savior is. And I am saves. I am saves the anointed. I am is salvation. What is salvation? Light, and all life is in the light because we being saved from the dark, and death is in the dark. But what's in the dark, we talking about the unknown. It's time for you to come into knowing, because if you say you believe, that means you don't know, and that means you in the dark. So it's time for you to come into the light and be saved from belief and come into knowing who you are. Believe is just a fancy, pretty way of saying, I don't know what's in this book. I just believe it. I just believe what they told me about it. I believe in God. This is a fancy way, a pretty way of saying, I don't know or can't articulate the experience of this power, but I do believe that it exists based on what I've been told. So when you have the testimony of Jesus, you speak about what you've experienced, what you can bear witness to. Way cut down on the arguments and the back and forth. So I'm with ISIS. Catch it if you can. I speak past, present, and future. Right now is the culmination of all three. So I was with ISIS, because you know the story of Osiris. It's always going to be an ISIS in the story. Man, I'm with ISIS, man. And my mind is being prepared to look at my grave and see my grave for what it is. Even get a glimpse at the funeral. Once my mind was ready, she prepared me. It was the night of the full moon, because she told me that's what we was going to wait for. This is one of them. I'm going to share it with you. One of them. So she do cleansing, washings, baptisms, so to speak, spiritual bath, spiritual cleansing. And we get on this mushroom, and I had never done it, and I had especially never done it at that level, as far as medicine or a way of searching or going into the subconscious to see what the subconscious would reveal to the conscious mind, because that's what's going on these psychedelic trips. We go into our subconscious and we become conscious, aware of what is in the subconscious as much as we can handle. So I take my trip and we going and we talking, and she sharing with me, and we going down through there. I went into the ancestors' room, but I didn't know there was the ancestors' room. But this was to teach me about boundaries. But I went in there. There are boundaries for a reason. But I crossed it in my ignorance. So it's a plate. I told you it's a gold plate. And this, you can, as I approach it, I'm looking at the reflections of the room in the gold plate. But then when I got in front of it, I couldn't see myself. I didn't have a reflection. I got all the way up. Because I couldn't see my reflection, I got all the way up on it. All the way, like I know I'm right in front of this thing. Why I don't see myself? Then I saw it. Saw the funeral, saw the casket, saw a little bit of the audience. I think they may have had how they'll put a big picture up next to it's like I was looking through that picture. Whatever picture they had set up next to my casket, that's what I was looking through. You don't have to accept this. So I was shocked and amazed when I saw it. I came out, Isis was there to lead me, led me to, after that, she took me to the spiritual bath and washed me. and led me back out again. Cause now it's time to shift, to parallel, new body, new mind, new reality, same mission. Deeper understanding, appreciation. Go outside and see the full moon, but now it's different. There's something I don't have words for. I cannot describe it. But there is a type of knowing and understanding that is beyond description and is very humbling and it's gonna argue. It's shocking, it is terrifying, but not in a scary way, but not in a scary way. It's just the beginning of understanding of so much power and so much grace and so much. Like I got you. Like when I say I mean across all realities, all worlds, all eternities, all imaginations, I got you. Forever. Man. So yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it at that because it's too hard. It's too hard to explain it. But God is awesome. This life is awesome, y'all. And we good. We all right. We're gonna be all right. That's for sure. That ain't no if and buts. We gonna be all right. Physical comfort depend on the state of mind and state of consciousness and awareness more than what we have or don't have physically. Because deep down, we always all right, regardless of what we have or don't have. We so good. Listen to me. All I'm saying is God is so great that we are good to the point where we good whether we conscious of it or not. Don't have to be aware of it for it to be good, and it's still gonna be good even if you're not aware that it is. It's good. It's that good. So once we come into grace, we'll stop looking for the reward and realize that we are already in the reward. You're already living in it. You already have it. You looking for the prize and the reward, and it's like you had what you. I knew what you was gonna ask for before you asked for it and gave it to you. You living in it. It's, man, I don't know. I don't know if it's making sense. Corey, do you think the alignment of the spirit, mind, and body? So that's a beautiful thing. I was thinking you spoke something that I was thinking that I hadn't said. So just like when they say the sun and the moon and the earth line up, or they line up different buildings and structures with the constellations, when the subconscious, the lights in the subconscious align with the light that's in the conscious, and that align with the body, yeah, that's the purpose. That's the point. That's the beginning of starting to understand some stuff and inner peace. But it's also experience from what I've gone through and experience. It have to do with a maturation of desires. The more mature our understandings are, the more mature our desires will be. And then you'll go start understanding and appreciating some of the immature desires that we may have had that we either got and didn't appreciate, or we didn't get and we thankful that we didn't. But yeah, it's about the stars on the outside is symbolic of aligning the inner self, subconscious and conscious with the physical. Just chopping, man. I'm appreciating this conversation and the people that's in here. Kitty, thank you. You in the comments rocking out. Medusa, you already know. This was only like 5 or 6 months. Oh yeah, you talking about your experience? Like yeah, everybody have the testimony of their death, burial, and resurrection, and it's a humbling experience. We call it the dark night of the soul. So if you sitting here and you listening and you've been listening to all this and me sharing, bearing witness and giving the testimony, and you know you have a testimony of your own, you can start looking at it in a different light. Cause sometimes we be like, why me? Why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? Cause nobody else is. But it seemed like if I do something, I get immediate, I catch hell, but they get to do whatever. And they don't. Why do I make people, I come around seem like people uptight and it's, you know what I'm saying? It's what is it? You always experienced it. Maybe it was a lot of betrayal. You good to people. You give shirt off your back and all you get in return is betrayal. And you just don't understand why. What is it about you that make people feel this way and act this way? This is what it is. You are being shown. One, you see different, and it's time for you to advance in degrees, go on and turn and move. Cause you're gonna start understanding this Tower of Babel, cause the same people that you were around can't understand you anymore. You still speaking the same language you've been speaking. All of a sudden, they don't understand what you're saying. Don't want to hear what you talk about. My chick. Yeah, that's what's going on with you. You're being shown spiritually that's not your place anymore. That's it. It's time for you to take a trip into the wilderness because you don't know who you are, because you don't know who your mama is. But mama know. Mama know, baby. But see, Most High and the wisdom of the Most High, knowing that the enemy is at war with the woman, put mama in the wilderness in a place prepared for her out of the serpent's reach. So you got to take a trip to wisdom is known of her children, but you got to take that trip to find mama. And mama gonna let you know who you are and what you are. But yeah, we put mama up and we didn't make it easy to get to mama because mama is a queen. And I don't know no queen that just make it in the king just make it easy for you to get to his queen. Like you just gonna run up on his queen. Anybody. No, you not neither. So everybody don't get to know mama. That's how they go. But it's getting to the point where they're not gonna be able to hide it anymore. You're gonna either have to teach it, explain it, or people gonna walk away because they know you withholding the truth from them. And the half truth is a whole lot. Can't tell me about my father, don't tell me about my mother. But I'm finna get up off of here. We got a lot of people in here today. Anybody got questions, comments? Because I know I might have said a lot. The dark night. You ain't gonna go through the dark night till you ready. When you go through it, because of the religion, it may be terrifying to you. It's gonna be world changing, reality changing. Everything that you thought you knew is gonna be turned upside down, and you're gonna see it, experience it, and feel it. Cause you're gonna start getting thoughts from your subconscious into your conscious, and you're not gonna be high, drunk, or nothing. And it may scare you when it happens. It's not nothing scary. It's a natural occurrence, and it will occur when you can handle it. It don't got nothing to do with right acts or wrong acts or right beliefs or none of that. When your mind is ready, you're going to be shown some things. And all that's going to be left for you to do is accept what you are shown. Because remember, I said the old man told me things are going to come to you. When it comes, don't doubt it. I spent a lot of time doubting what was coming to me. Because I wanted validation. I needed to be believed. But it wasn't happening so that people would believe me. It was happening so that I would believe God. I had to be humble again and again and again. And I still will be and still am. But it's a beautiful and wonderful process, and one I submit to, like I submitted to being in the streets and having to clean feces out the vent and out the sink so I could drink out of that same sink I had to clean somebody else's caked up feces out of for 3.5 years. And endured it. Because I did the crime. Gotta do the time. So if I can endure that, then all right, well, yeah, you ready now. All right, y'all. You cried for 2 weeks. Yeah, it'll make you cry. It'll make you cry. But it's necessary, ain't it? But now you come out with God is beyond description and awesome. It make you trust God. It make you trust what God, source, most high, whatever. Make you trust it. Make you not doubt it. Make you stop worrying. Make you, when you remind yourself, man, I ain't got to figure out everything. Everything already been figured out. I don't got to do nothing but appreciate what I've been given. Hey, what's happening, baby? Everybody you see. And they like, man, because I'm happy to see you. You here? In my mind, in my experience, you here with me? What's up? Like, it's just a whole lot of appreciation, you know what I mean? And looking for what's coming around the corner, and then getting humbled again and going through it, because I went through it again here lately, and after this 12-year cycle. But this time I was a little bit better prepared, able to accept some stuff. And we'll leave that for another time. But yeah, it's nothing new under the sun, y'all. You've been here. You've been alive before. This ain't your first go-round of life. That's why you exist. You are eternal. You come from eternity. You come from before time, where you come from. But you don't have to accept that. It's nothing to fear. Death is nothing to fear. What we call death, God called rest. What we call time, God called grace. Even deeper than that, grace is eternal. Time will end, has an end, does end. That's why it's always now. Man, yeah, God is great. I'm going to end it like I started. God is great. And let's appreciate it. Be thankful, you know. I don't care what religion you practice or how you come to believe in God. This thing called life is awesome to me. Peace and love, y'all. Yeah, it can be. Oh yeah, I gotta get out of here, but just be patient with yourself. Just be patient with yourself. Don't worry, y'all. Don't stress. It's okay. It really is okay. All right.